All right, everybody, welcome back on a Tuesday. Harmonic Pattern Podcast number 158. We're here Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Hold on one second. Um, except for this Thursday. Won't be there. Will you there? Well, let's do it Friday. Let's do a Black Friday special. Same time, but we'll go Friday. Hold on one second. All right, let's see if we can get that worked out better. Want to get right into some stocks today. Want to talk about individual stocks like Tesla, a couple other the big ones. A lot of type 2s going on, but no confirmation. Also, want to really get into some triggers. Want to get into those things that are lined up, but almost ready to trigger. Tesla's perfect example. Let's look at that. Great, thanks. A lot of what we're going to talk about on the Black Friday special on Friday, we'll talk about what we're going to bring in the seminar, a couple of the strategies we're going to discuss, and also the kind of the market outlook panel that I want to put together. We'll take questions, and I think we're going to do that on YouTube, and we'll do the other ones on GoToMeeting. So you do have to sign up. Here's the really quick, here's the Black Friday special. Just go to the harmonictrader.com, click there, get the details. If you're a subscriber, now's the time to renew. If you're a trial user, sign up, get 15% and get the seminar. Any of you guys that are members, also, you can come to the seminar. And if you have any questions, go to the Discord and ask Miss Stephanie. All right? If you want to attend and you bought the program in the last 3 months, send her a note. We'll set you up. All right? Otherwise, upgrade, subscribe. You know what to do. One of the things that we're going to really hone down on, because by that second week of December, a lot of the patterns that seemingly have washed out are going to probably show us whether or not they're confirming. And we're looking right now at Tesla, which has been on the weekly almost perfect ideal type 2 conditions where we have the full retest. There was the initial completion on the bat pattern going all the way back June 21, May 21 off of that low. I mean, it's a beautiful W formation that did the type 1 reaction, and you come back for the retest. So we've been looking ever since 198 for that retest check back, but we need 2 weekly bullish candles before, and we can consider that a triggered actionable move. Not surprised to see this leaking lower. Yeah, it's weak, and yes, maybe even the hop level, if this cannot turn around on an individual week, maybe the hop level at 149 before it turns. But there's no action here, and I think that's something important where we're looking for triggers. We're looking for confirmation, especially on the retest. Not there yet. You know, the other chart that this is really indicative, this kind of waiting, patient, looking for that confirmation has been the VIX. I posted a chart on that this morning. Beautiful bullish patterns. So if you're looking for the market to kind of fire up and start to, roll over, you would see that associated with some kind of VIX that's rallying, or even with this bullish pattern to hit the zone right here and then get moving, but not there yet. I mean, you don't even have there one bullish candle after the completion, nothing yet. I think VIX is probably explaining why you're looking at the market grinding higher in a lackluster fashion, but VIX incredible. I mean, probably going to float under 20 on this move, which I think is the opposite for what everyone's looking for. People are expecting VIX just to run immediately, but still treat it the same way. What's going on, everybody? Quick shout out to the chat. Great to see everybody here, and glad that we've got that great community on the Discord. Check out our Discord link. Thank you, Miss Stephanie, for posting that. Again, everybody, click on the link. They just posted it in the chat feed, and it's on the basic members page. Again, that's everything you need to know is on basic members, and that's free. It's all free. So that's really important. Again, I reiterate that for the new people. Sign up, basic free membership. No one else is doing that. And then get the software. The other thing, as I mentioned the last two sessions, just incredible harmonic pattern cheat sheet that we now have as a free member. So click on, that's number 5. And all of the strategies, you guys, really just amazing what you guys did with this. The mods put this together in the Discord, and it has everything. All of the pattern structures and metrics, the type 1, type 2 framework. I mean, this is really cool. You guys got 1,000 pages of books, essentially, and about 15 years of research on the one page. I'm humbled, but there's a lot there. Check that out. Really nice. I mean, yes, there's other things and confirmation, but this has got it. So if you want something to print out, put on your wall, it's free. Basic membership right there. And yeah, so get with all of that. It all starts on Harmonic Trader. Again, great job, mods. Great job. Dave, the rest of you. What's going on? Welcome. So let's get back to some of the other bigger names that we are, trying to stabilize. They haven't continued lower. But here's other things like Microsoft, probably one of the most important individual stocks out there. We've had a few patterns down here. Oh, let me bring up the other chart. The other chart looks like this. Microsoft is a massive deep crab type 2, and these take longer. So you're seeing this market hold. Here you go. Bring that up. And let me deselect that. Thank you. So it's a type 2 on the crab pattern from back here from June. And we formed another deep crab. Now, how do you handle these back-to-back pattern situations with Microsoft? It's a beautiful back-to-back bullish confirmation. Okay, but we're still in a type 1 off of that second pattern where I need to see some kind of HSI up in here, and we're not there yet. Have not registered. Here's Harmonic Strength Index going higher. So look out above 244, because to complete that wave, we could trade as high as 263 on that move. All about those levels. Eye on that one, because we're not going to go into return phase until we can register. I think it's pretty telling that you're sitting here. I'm going to bring this over like that. After the gap up, look, we're 8 days sideways after hitting target 1. Still have not registered, like I said, confirmation. So you're still up in this reaction. And if this is really going to go, target 2 off of the initial pattern is still valid. I kind of look at it this way. We're always making these assessments. We got the patterns that line up quite nice and come together. Yes, we've been talking 221 on Microsoft for a long time. Looked like it was going to fail, stabilized. But on this run, the fact that you have a target 2 and you have the prior target 1 up here at 270, 269.95, says that this thing still has more room to run. Get to the upside on there. Still treat it as a reaction until we get some kind of confirmation bearish counter move against that reaction. Evan's saying there's a 200 moving day average. Yeah. Okay. Now, that's not completed. It's still in reaction phase. And it's a lot like S&P 500. Check out S&P. Sorry. Come on back here. S&P on the daily. Look, this has been hanging tough. And the fact that, much like the Microsoft chart, that pause looks even more bullish. You're ready to pop above the 3-day. You get above that, not too far from where we are. 39.90. Yeah, 39. We're right here. And all you need is a close above that. Close above 394, 39.94. And you could shoot this gap straight back up to retest the bearish pattern, 41.38. I mean, really critical to be aware of those levels. Trend is still up off of this reaction low, and the last 7-8 days after this massive pop, just another pause. I mean, if that was going to be super weak, we would have already rolled over. We'd be down here breaking the trend line. You're not doing that. Fairly impressive. The last 7-8 days, they probably just wanted to eat up a bunch of option time premium. But I like that position. I like where we are relative to the prior pattern. Ever since the 35.50 retest from October, that's holding firm. We have not seen anything that would challenge this reversal move. And another back-to-back pattern situation. Take a look. I'll isolate the bullish pattern first. So the bullish pattern off of, as a type 2, its secondary target 42.78. All right. The bearish pattern, that was between 1 and 2. So even if we're looking for the retest, 41.38 with a hop level 42.81. So these patterns are kind of leading this higher when in a spot where I think everyone's looking for a massive collapse, quite frankly. It seems like, the uber bearish readings, put call ratio was right back up to some all-time highs just recently. So, really tricky environment, but until we have that retest or until we get another bearish HSI in our face, just ride this. It's going to grind, but just ride it. Hold on one second. I got to switch screens 1 second. All right, thanks. There you go. That's better. So still playing that up. Let's take a quick look at the 5-minute SPY. We've been looking for opportunities, some short-term stuff, maybe some option plays. Some of the things that I personally like to do on the weekly options, I like to wait till Thursday or Friday. If I'm going to spend, I talked about this yesterday. The thing about day trading is, it's labor intensive. You really need to pick your spots. Some people trade for a couple hours a day, and so be it, which I think is a good move. Or for me, I like to pick individual days. And Thursday, Friday for options, those weekly options, because the time decay is reduced and you get those better moves into Thursday, Friday, is one thought. Now, of course, we got Thanksgiving coming up. It's a holiday week. Well, maybe Friday. Friday would be a good day to look at some individual day trades. Let's do that on 12 noon. Kick it right off. For today, take a look at where we are on the 5 minute, and I got a few questions about some of the things I was discussing yesterday about VWAP and patterns, how to look at that. First, look for patterns. Okay, that's our fundamental framework, and patterns with confirmation. Absolutely, the VWAP is a great tool, and it showed one or two integrations with that yesterday. And we had a setup early. There's the patterns. There's the 5 minute. That's a SPY, and you're above the VWAP, that blue line. All right. If we're looking just at patterns, let's read the pattern. Bearish bat pattern. Okay, 397.42. That's terminal bar. Do you have confirmation? Nope, not yet. In fact, what's that arrow tell you right there? The pink sun icon, we call it. All right, that sets up the structural completion. We start looking to the right and we look for bearish confirmation. We don't have it. You actually have a bullish confirmation, bullish HSI going against your bearish zone. These situations, I've said time and time again, going to take more time, maybe challenge as high as the hop level, and we will trigger whatever the next 5 minute HSI. Bearish is what you would be looking for, nowhere to be found up here. One of the thoughts that I have for these type of situations that are non-confirmation, some people say that, hey, I don't want to wait for confirmation. I just want to take the trade because you get that reactive move. And you did get 1-2 early scalpable, half a point, almost a point moves, but we're looking for type 1 reaction down to target 1. Our levels are clear. And we won't get that really unless we do have some kind of confirmation variable. So keep an eye on that, and even intraday, if you're looking at that. Let me bring that back up. There's VWAP again. Okay, not anything, not any position yet. This is probably even overextended, I would say right now, but I wouldn't expect the full target 1 reaction until we got a definitive confirmation variable. Even if we're looking for, say, a 3-bar reversal somewhere, it didn't happen. One of those formations where it fails the prior 3 bars and continues. You don't have that. Keep an eye on that. We just always want to think of that as a reaction. And this is the other thought to consider, where with the VWAP, that you might get these nominal pullbacks that try to approach it. But time and time again, without the confirmation, they're just short-lived reactions. If you're scalping, trying to trade that scalping, yeah. I think a time kind of a efficacy thought here, that I don't want to sit through those small reactions. I want to wait for an A+ setup to come together with real nice confirmation. It's not there yet on the 5-minute time frame. So just be patient on that. Versus the Qs, which, where's that? Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. It had this crab pattern from yesterday, all of that around 280. And interesting enough, there's sun icon with the first reaction. Came back down to the hop. And approaching target 283.90. You're clearly above the VWAP. That's just overextended at this point. 283.90 for the day is probably your upside limit for now, off of that pattern. Daily on Qs, SPY, I mean, they're all trying to get up, make progress. Now, on the Qs, excuse me, a little bit different situation with a butterfly, not a crab. Still no HSI. This is, bring this right here. There you go. Still, as I said yesterday, still a reaction. We did hit target 1 at 288.84, but no confirmation. Just kind of a pause here. Where's HSI? Oh, wait. There you go. And nothing yet on HSI. Look, there's your last signal, bearish, but it didn't really register at target 1. Look what happened, though. Completion of that butterfly, you ran into that bearish HSI, and then you came back for a secondary retest. It's still a type 1. Okay, it's just taking more time, but I'm looking for that signal maybe by the end of the month here between 288 and 306. That would set you off to go back down for the full retest on the butterfly. Not quite there yet, but there are a few individual stocks that are. And these are interesting situations, I think, that everyone wants to pay attention to. A lot like where Tesla was doing a couple of weeks ago in the return phase. You have things like, Applied Materials, AMAT, even the semis. There you go. Here's Applied Materials. Up at target 2. Looking for that to roll over to come back retest, because these are all doing really strong reactive moves. Needs to come back for the retest. Hasn't broken that trend line yet. What's the other one? Was it? No. The other one was Taiwan Semi. Hold on, TSM. There you go. This is checking back right now. This is ideal. Okay, this is a lot better. ABCD off the low. Real strong reactive move, but check it out now. We are checking back today. There's our ideal scenario, folks. You have your indicator, HSI right there. It's out of the zone. And amplified RSI, it's rolled over, it needs to get out. But here's where the check back and the ideal way that we want to line up a zone with HSI. So your arrow generated 2 days ago, and now, literally right now, today, we're checking back to retest that on the daily chart. All that Taiwan Semi around 83 bucks. Okay, and still early, but you're hitting the requirements necessary to end the type 1 reaction. I would give that probably, we need 2 more bars after today, so still early. Important way to look at that, where you're still in a reaction uptrend. I want to see 2 individual candles, bearish candles, over the next few sessions that will then trigger the return phase back down. Looking for the type 2. Several of these are setting up like that. Some are retesting today. Some are just early in triggering. But we've seen this several times before this year alone. Even look at the last, where's that? Let me go to Amazon. Get back here. Amazon, yep. Okay, type 1 reaction all the way back to type 2. Now, it's kind of like being right there. A few weeks ago, like we were in Amazon, right at target 1. We didn't get a check back on that one. What was the one we got a check back on? Well, I think it was Apple. I'll pull up Apple in a second. But I did want to highlight this thing, and really depends on where you are relative to the pattern. But if I was looking at Amazon as a long opportunity, because it's a retest and you had this nice confirmation, it was just destroyed a few days ago by the bearish signal now running against you. So more time on Amazon where I want to keep an eye on that. If that really starts to fall apart, there's nothing here on Amazon under these lows. You break the lows, you're just going to continue in this longer term trend. Let me show you Apple. Apple was had a couple of type 2s, 2 patterns back to back on our dailies. There you go. Yeah. Couple of bad patterns, but this was, and still is, ideal type 1 completion. Had the arrow that triggered end of October, and then we came back on the type 2, but no confirmation yet. And I'd be concerned if Apple rolls over under this 150 level, especially breaks like a 3-bar low under 146. Likely that this thing just it comes back for another retest, and we're triggering potentially more return phases across the board here. They are early, but as I said before, once these start that return to go back and retest, you can get a quick drop at minimum back to the XA. I'm targeting hop level if we break down. If we break down, you're looking for the breakdown. Something that I've mentioned in the last few days was that we were looking for the breakdown. Even last week, we were threatening. What was that, Friday or Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. I remember we were threatening to roll over, and then we rallied back at the end of the day. That was critical because you didn't take out that 147 level. And yeah, 147, 146, nothing until under that level until you go back and retest the pattern. It hasn't triggered yet. Hold on 1 second. Couple of questions. Yeah, the Dow, the diamonds, sure. Can the diamonds correct from 34.28 280 to 31.750? Yep. They are similar situation as a lot of these that have popped up off the October lows, especially those that have patterns. Here are the diamonds. That was a type 2. ABCD. I think there was there was a couple other patterns down here, but it was all at 290. Confirmation on HSI was 289. And yeah, here's another. So this is how we look at the diamonds, because slightly different position because you're already in your type 2 reversal here. Looks like that. There's the reaction in June and just took a long time, but came all the way back down, hop level 291. And then we check back on the diamonds. Now, something to look at here is we monitor. There's our HSI, and the check back did happen. Okay, now show me 2 red candles to the right of here, 1 and 2. So I'm going to look a little bit higher, 337. Trying to break out. Are we going to break out here and ignore that HSI signal? At least my eyes are up here as the true area for where that should be rolling over, and you're doing a pause. I would say give this, we need a 3-bar breakdown here. If you're looking for that return phase to begin, it would have to do a 3-bar breakdown. Not there yet. Not there yet. Still up off of those patterns and signals. Let's look at a couple more individual cases like this. Crude oil. Okay, Chevron, one of the big boys. We talked about this massive pattern. And this was even what we traced out, I think, over the last few weeks of looking at that type 1 reaction. Didn't get to target 1 at 122. That would have been ideal. But take a look at what happens on Chevron with HSI going the other way. So we're now up here. This is actually a monthly chart. I know that's what we were looking at. Yep, there you go. This is a better monthly chart. Since the retest of the hop level, I need to see a monthly bearish candle. We tried to throw it down yesterday. Not there yet. This is where, again, I've been taking profits on energy, getting out of energy up at these levels from a trade management perspective. As a trigger for a short position, I need to see one bearish candle off of this monthly, even two. Break it down on the weekly time frame. It's even clearer where, hey, I need some kind of major 3-bar reversal here. Then I would say this is done for now, but not yet. It bounced right back after yesterday. Listen, you break above that 189 or 190, then I would be surprised to see that do that, because look at where HSI is on the weekly too. It's about to trigger. Very early for crude oil, but we know that on this last retest up here, it has been stalling out at long-term levels. Quick question, Jeff Freeze asking, why do we use 13 in an HSI value? Is there any significance? Is it going to change the value? Yeah, it's an optimized 13 is. So let me back up, okay? Just so everyone knows, the foundation of everything that I've done with harmonic patterns that I find works best is relative strength. And I've spent a lot of time, years in fact, working with that relative strength to put some harmonic integers in there as a part of the calculation to really emphasize certain movements, okay, so that it'll express just the basic principle of going from one extreme to the next. And it's what we're trying to do as traders. We want to go from overbought to oversold, oversold back to overbought. And in between, measure our levels. All right, we're looking to combine the two. No doubt. I mean, I want pattern and I want confirmation of HSI. So you're going to see some HSI signals fail. Like, look, this signal, that overbought signal, just led to a pause, but there was no pattern there. And if anything, you had a check back and you paused and you eventually broke out, to where that pausing phenomenon, real typical of a failure in process. Versus where we are now on Chevron, where we have overbought HSI and our amplified RSI, and it's pretty much the same with standard RSI. You're triggering off of those indicator extremes once they come out. Important to see that. That's why it's early. It's part of the game here. We're trying to position ourselves at the right level and then trigger once that indicator shows us the way. Our bullish moves in a bearish trend, subtle distribution by big players. Another great question, and it's something we've seen a lot of, especially in those big tech stocks, where it is, I think, more of a function of the cycle, of the type of cycle. If we're looking at, just say, S&P, where we have both bullish and bearish. I mean, this was downtrend, really clear bearish signal that gave us a very peculiar type 1, type 2, and this is something else that is really interesting in terms of kind of the automatic natural dynamics that happen when you guys spot this, where we get the pattern. That's a cycle signal. I think of each pattern as like a type of cycle. It's a type of collective buying and selling that has implications. Like a bat is a different creature than a crab. And we also know that things like retracement patterns typically are going to have some kind of reactive move off of the initial point. You know, there's the initial point X. Most traders are just looking, okay, that's recognizing that as static resistance, and I'll sell against initial test of static resistance. But with this formation, that W formation, to me, that's a specific group of trades. That is the characteristics of a certain type of consolidation cycle, if you will. But it still goes through the type 1 reaction down to target 1 and then comes back there in a flash for the return. Now, this is something where that bullish trend, bearish pattern in a bearish trend definitely gets reinforced, although you can't escape you still can't escape the 1-2 framework. Here's the thing with the counter patterns. So we've been in a bearish trend, but we've seen bullish charts. What does that lead to? A lot of initial reactions. Like that's what June was. Just a big counter trend reaction. Now, his final point was that the big guys? Is that them? What did you is that subtle distribution by the big players? Okay, and that's a good way to put it, to try to frame out who's really moving the market. And I don't really want to focus on who, but what's moving the market. To me, it's more about reaching your natural limit on the daily, which is a 1618. And the 1618 is a really important basic minimum cycle number, where if we see that extension in just about any situation, unless it completely crashes through that level, if we see a response at a clear 1618, and that's what this crab pattern is, it's just a special type of a 1618 extension, sell-off, decline, that structurally means it's overextended. And so if that natural cycle is saying, okay, we've gone too far, too soon, we need a corrective counter trend balance, if you will. That's the dynamic of the cycles. Most markets really don't. They might go past your big 1618, but not by much. And we start looking in that area. We'll get to Bitcoin in a second, because why not? But we'll look at why that is a failure at a 1618 versus something like this. This responded within within a week, 10 days after hitting the level. But what it really is, it's a natural 1618 cycle. Think of it that way. I call it a harmonic impulse wave. That simple 1618. And we had it. Look at the S&P, with that decline back in from December to January. It was another 1618 throwdown. So it's just a natural structural level of being oversold that does naturally correct itself, and that's what that was, and comes right back down. Notice still the 1-2 framework in action here. It could be big players. It doesn't necessarily need to be a specific group of people. It's more about what the type of cycle it is and how it responds. We know 1618s, once they get oversold and they start to pivot, they like to come back to your 382 target move. Couple more. So, for example, is it likely that 4050 gets hit before final capitulation? Likely, yeah. We've been saying that. I updated members last week on that situation, that with stuff like S&P doing what it's done, and especially after that breakout, we would go, 4060 minimum between target 1, target 2, now looking for HSI up here. I'm looking for an overbought trigger above 4060, but not to exceed 4278. Where are you now? You're 3990. So you've got some work to do to get up there. What if I'm wrong? Or what if the framework doesn't, there's a better way to say it, what if the framework doesn't unfold properly? You'll see it. You'll either get a premature overbought signal, in this area or even earlier, that requires more time, or we get a one bar, like we get a bad day, and that kind of kicks off some kind of breakdown of the downtrend. But we ride that until we see these levels get triggered. The last 7-8 days have been nothing, so it's kind of difficult to say, all right, is that really going to get up there? At least you haven't violated important lows. Really critical. It's been a tough look. I know it's been a tough read on this market. Look like, and still seems like everything's going to drop to zero. But I want to stick with the levels. Where are we within the framework? Because that's the clarity that's going to get you to where you need to define the segments, the profitable segments. If we're doing that on a 5-minute chart or a daily chart, really doesn't matter. Let me show folks one of our 3 ideas from October, which is Procter & Gamble. And this one, really nice type 1, type 2 down here. I think wait a minute, was it weekly with the check back? We had a weekly down here, but the daily was clearly a type 2 crab. And this is a part of working with the software and learning the framework, where if you recognize that is your minimum segment and you come all the way back down, from that point, even all the way down here at 127, and I said this in the video from about 4 or 5 weeks ago, 151 is still the target. If we want to be conservative, all right, look for this area between target 1, target 2, an HSI signal, but nothing there. Okay, you're above 143 here, but HSI is not triggering yet. Check that out. We do a 3 ideas every week, so I give you guys at least 3 ideas. This is for members with the market report, market updates. I'm happy to share a couple. This was a recent one, and this is actually a live one, but just so you guys know what this kind of stuff we're looking for. All right, here's Petco. And where is the Petco chart? Hold on. Bear with me. Let me get this back in here. I think I took off the patterns. There you go. What did I do here? Sorry, folks. One second. Oh, I know what I did. There you go. I'm going to go to here. Go to the other platform. There you go. Daily. Thank you. Finally. All right, so here we are. This was something I posted recently. So 3 ideas. This is Petco. And we're targeting hop level with HSI. Beautiful crab pattern, but no trigger down there. No HSI to the right of the pattern. And this is, I could use this as an update for gold, silver members. Told you guys I would update that. We were posted this, I guess it was 2 weeks ago. We were up in the zone still. I want to trigger the hop with a oversold test, and you got earnings coming up. We probably dip down, next week on earnings. So that could be a nice event where you do get the oversold trigger. But that was, it still is clear pattern. Waiting for confirmation, just coming delayed. Couple of more. What was there was something that did drop down into the zone. Oh, plug. Here you go. Here's plug. Daily. Okay. bat pattern, but not ready yet. A sideways dud. This is plug power. This was a darling last year. All right. No HSI to the right here. Actually, you had a bearish signal, and we're coming back down. I would still target the hop level. About 14, another dollar lower. Couple of these are setting up. Beautiful pattern structure, but I want to trigger with the confirmation. The other one was DraftKings. I think I mentioned this last week. And this is another one. Nice pattern. Setting up. Come back for the return. Just a simple reaction. Around 14.90. Now, we don't have any HSI that would terminate it, but the simple fact you go from XA, terminal bar, to target 1, your job is done. That's an example where if you're playing options on that, you want to take it as soon as it hits the target. You don't want to screw around. And if you don't follow through on the target, all right, especially you hit the level and you don't follow through like the next day or close higher, you know that that is pausing, if not stalling. And I'm still looking on this for the type 2 on DraftKings back down XA around 1176. Wouldn't touch it yet. Not there yet. Couple more. Does the market close Friday at 1 o'clock? I think it maybe. Usually they don't. They run it. I think it's all day. I'll have to look that up. Somebody know? Somebody know if the market's closed on Friday? Let's see. Let's see. I think it's open. Yeah, it's open. It's open Friday. So, yeah, we'll do a full session no matter what. All right, really quick. Let me jump over to crypto. I don't even know why, but I've received emails, been talking to some people about the space in general, some people that have traded it, people that got caught in it, people that stayed in it a bit too long. Well, I'm not going to do anything on crypto or even come back to it until I think next year, quite frankly, because we have not seen anything the whole year to develop that would give us any kind of encouragement. And I go to the total crypto market cap chart, which is like all of them. And we have really clear deep crab that failed last week, 2 weeks ago. And we keep dipping down. And I think people are wondering, where is the bottom on this, especially those that are still in there. And I'm going to just say it's next year. It's next year at lower prices. And so if you're in the space, crypto, and you're trying to trade this, unless you're maybe just shorting, like I said yesterday, every pop, this whole crypto cycle thing will not even begin until you wash this out. And the total index, let me bring this up. I'm just going to say it with all of them, has to come back to the 886s. All the way back down, 886 is on total crypto market cap around 450 billion. 50% below your current level. The other thing with crypto, and I'll shoot through the top 5, that we, at least I know a lot of people are still interested in it, but from a trading perspective, it's a broken market right now. It just is broken in every way. And again, who knows if your brokerage where you have your cash is, I mean, all of them are questionable, and something happens, you have to say the signs were there. And until things change, I don't know. But here was the check back we finally got, and that's not the right. It's the Gartley. We do have a bat pattern, but I'm really want to go off the Gartley that was set up. There you go. That has been the pattern we have followed for the last 6 weeks. And we finally got the check back yesterday. The retesting that low. And let's look at the framework. Type 1, reaction. You go at an HSI, you come all the way back down. So finally, if I was looking at something, okay, I would be happy that, yes, we finally checked back. We retested that individual bar, and that low was 1082. Yeah, yesterday we hit that. Today, we retested, trying to back up, trying to bounce off of that 1082. Again, why would we jump in here? We have the check back. I would want to wait and see 2 bullish days. Is today first day? You would need 2. Otherwise, you're going to keep sliding. And this is just like Tesla. I showed you guys Tesla where we hit the zone, we checked back, but we just kept grinding lower. So it's either 2 bullish days or make a run to the hop 958 minimum. But I'm not really not anything there for me that's even worth it. I mean, it's a beautiful type 2, and normally I would say, hey, that's a great opportunity. It's Ethereum, but not right now. Not with all the nonsense going on. And it still hasn't worked out. Look, compare that to, say, something like Disney, which is really similar. Didn't check back, but we know it's just a reaction. Disney, Ethereum, they all going through the 1-2 process where there's type 1 reaction, comes all the way back down. You do have some confirmation, but no check back. No check back off of that second signal. And I think that's what we're doing now. That's back at 87. I'd look for this come back down at a minimum into the zone. So just a reaction off of all of that. It's still early. And Ethereum, imagine if Disney was going on the verge of bankruptcy, as a lot of crypto is. That's with what you're looking at in Ethereum, even from a straight up signal, I'm going to respect it if it prints me 2 bullish candles. Otherwise, I'm nothing to do with it. Talk to me in 48 hours or more on all of this. But until then, I'm not, crypto is a dangerous space. Sorry. It's really the brokerages and what happened with all of this. And it brings us back to what is the right price in all of this garbage. What's the right price? Where are the long-term buyers and sellers, supply and demand, going to settle up? Because if I was looking at this on an intraday level, if I was looking at this as a futures chart, I would say that your first reaction failed. And that's what that was, this big deep crab. If we roll back into the zone, there you go. There's the crab pattern, again, showing us what a natural 1618 reaction looks like off of the last ditch from there to the all-time high. That's really what that crab pattern's all about. But you had brief reaction, and you spend, 100 and something days here going sideways. 160 days sideways now, where you're right back to the pattern low. That's not what we want to see on harmonic patterns. It's not. There's an expected behavior. I really thought there was a shot this summer where we go for a type 1 and then we would slam all the way back down. That's really what I was thinking until we broke down. And once we broke down 1500, 1550 or so, that was it. We were bumping stops. For now, just sit on the sides, just wait, be patient. And this is something serious for the crypto bros out there, the people, the diehard hodlers and whatever. If you really love the space, and you really believe in the space, think of it this way. You want to be a buyer where the true support is. I think that's a lot lower. If you really want to support the crypto industry long term, you got to let this all wash out, completely flush, and then be there at the hop. Why not? Why not go to the hop level 323? It is a valid downside projection. If we fail now, if we don't print two bullish candles and we start to slide here, yeah, you're going to run deeper into this larger zone. It's just it has not done anything constructively bullish since a year ago, and it fails to even show us anything now. I would keep your eye on Binance Coin, because that's not a safe haven. And Binance Coin, if we can print some patterns, 5-minute, 30-minute bearish patterns. Where's the hourly? Oh, there was the 5-minute. Here's the 5-minute pattern. Sorry. 5-minute Binance Coin. There you go. Bat pattern at the hop at 264.15. That should be about it right now. Shout out to those crypto traders that are on this. And I said, bring up the 5-minute chart. Your last couple of 5-minute patterns have been devastating. Last one at 273 got you to 250. 264, well, that's a reaction, but talk to me down here, 256, 254 now, immediately. And again, smaller patterns in the confirming the downtrend is where you can get your larger moves like this. And Binance Coin for me is already on the edge. Check this out. Bring this up. All about these lows at 260. And it's just going to take one candle. One big candle under 240, under 230, and then forget about it. And I still say Binance Coin, it's like Facebook earlier this year, Amazon, all of these that took its time. Once it registered, this is what Binance Coin, connect the dots. It's a massive minimum all-time Gartley. Even if we're just connecting dots around 141, all-time 886. Binance Coin, I'll say 75. I think it's probably a little bit higher. Something like that. And the other thing is the fact we're showing bearish patterns, albeit small, but the fact that we continue to print these bearish patterns, the software is doing that. That's a sign, it's a signal, a signpost. That's what I used to say. It's a signpost of future price action. And this is a devastating reversal. So I'm not there. Would I buy a Binance Coin? No. I would look to be selling it off of every 5-minute bearish pattern. Like that right there. You guys are probably selling it right now. 254. And I mean right now, for this move. I would say 254 before 265 is a way to look at that, a way to describe your segment. Damn shame what happened here. Hurt a lot of people, but we got to move on. Hey, Evan, that's a great one. That's a great one. Yeah, the grayscale, we should look at that. Sold all my crypto on the pump today, says James. A good one. Now get it off the exchange and get it to that precious fiat. Oh, that terrible fiat. Matthew asks, what's up, Matthew? Would hitting the hop on ETH be a deep crab of its own? Yes. Great one. Great comment. The question is, and again, it's another reason why this is still setting up to go lower structurally. So here we have on Ethereum, it's a deep crab. Well, it's a couple of things. It's a bat. But no, where's the deep crab? There's the deep crab. It was the crab This one's a regular crab, sorry. And we've been looking for this. I mean, it's a small pattern after a big pattern. It's a type 2. Now you have confirmation. Amazing how this is such a perfect type 2 with that small pattern. Yet the conditions are horrible. The bankruptcies, everything, the trust in exchanges. I will respect this after 2 days, but if we don't generate that, if we don't respond off of this level, yeah, the crab pattern here, and let me bring up the settings. I know why this is. I've get back here. I got to show this. Oh, here I'm hiding the old zones, so it looks like this. So let's get the other zones. There you go. The hop level on this crab is 320. We said that. It's a valid pattern. Now the question is, if the Gartley fails, we fail the 958, we fail these prior lows. Yeah, there is nothing here. And is it a crab pattern? Would it morph into a crab pattern? Kind of like it would look like this structure. And then you get back down to retest the hop, you know, with a throwdown 1618. Yeah, it puts you, I mean, that's treacherous territory. But that would be a throwdown move. That's well under the hop. And actually, it might be a butterfly. Where's our B point? Let's just break it down. Where's the B point? There's X to A. And then your B point right there. Get it right. Get it right. B point is 7.3. So that, yeah, is more of a crab structure. And your 1618 gets you to essentially under 300, 220 level. Yeah, you can get the quadruple amount. That's really what I'm saying, is that if you want an opportunity in crypto, it's lower. It's a lot lower. And why wouldn't that cycle repeat again? You've seen that a few times. The other thing that as a just on principle, I said this on yesterday, why wouldn't we just wait for another pattern, a weekly pattern, like we saw in the last two cycles? Hold on. All these down arrows. Hold on. Where's my Ethereum patterns? Weekly. Oh, perpetual. No. These patterns. That kind of a thing. And I showed it on Bitcoin. We have two patterns, two cycles. Ethereum had a big bat pattern, 167. If you are here, if we're going to compare the 2018 cycle, and I've said this before, so if we're going to look for a pattern like this to complete down at the 886, somewhere down here, the software will print the pattern. So no rush. But I would say that you're probably like right here. You know, you're Ethereum 450 or 500 about to break down to 120. If we're here on Ethereum at 1120, your all-time 886 looks like this. You know, it's just another big bat pattern like Bitcoin, like all of them, where 886 is, yeah, 600. A lot lower than 1,000. Like 1,000's not a point of value. That's not something where you're looking for that to be, really be an opportunity. The opportunity, again, favors the 886, favors HSI on the long-term registering. And look at what HSI is doing on Ethereum. It's just a matter of time before we get the price continuation. And I think it's a matter of weeks. It could be 6 weeks into the end of the year, but it will take time. And then we see some of the blow-ups. MicroStrategy really is, we looked at that. What are the levels down there? You had some patterns from long ago. all the way back down here. Where was it? Oh, yeah, I talked about this crazy pattern yesterday. Retest the support down at 120. That's where the support is not where we are currently. Historic support to complete the whole cycle, as I said, the distribution curve, you have to go back to where you started at this point. That's the problem with the crypto space, folks. Any little bounce, if you like try to get long, it's not going to give you much of a continuation. And we don't have any confirmation that would trigger it. So it's a slow grind if you're in that space, or you're still in that space waiting for something. And I don't care what anyone's beliefs of Bitcoin are. I think there's a lot of disingenuous things being said, even about Bitcoin. And I think Bitcoin is not even a consideration till 11,000. All right, let's wrap it up. Let's bring back, look at what's going on S&P, folks. S&P pushing higher. Now above that 390. Look, this is breakout material right now on your 5-minute. Pushing higher. And immediate levels. Let's skip back to the 4-hour. Immediate levels on S&P 500. You have a really interesting 1618 right off the low. So the October ditch down, and I forgot to mention this, had a beautiful impulsive 1618, but no confirmation. So you just go into a pause. This lines up with a lot of the other levels we talked about, where S&P right now, all right, we're probably going to crack above 4,000 today. You're 39.95 at the moment. You're up 38, 36, and continue to play that higher into the end of the week. We'll come back on Friday. Look, Friday we'll do an interesting session. We'll see if we can get some option trades early. But for now, folks, we're still playing this 8-day range is about to break out, probably in a low volume environment over the next 2 days. Go tomorrow, go into Friday, and use these levels. I think going back to retest that 1618 at 4016, easy now. So use that. Wait for a 5-minute pullback, but use that larger 4-hour time frame and as a minimum structure. Because ever since we finished that little reactive move, we've been up the last, 2 days, grinding higher, which is against what everyone is really thinking. People are thinking this is rolling over right now. Not yet. Not yet. Wait for those higher levels to get hit. And we don't even consider until we trigger with HSI. Continuing higher. Listen, Friday, folks. Friday, we're going to do the warm-up Black Friday special. I'll give away some books. Final note about the books. The books are not getting to Asia and India. So if you folks are from those part of the world, I'm going to have to give you a 30-day software subscription because I've just received too many returned. Even some European countries are not getting there. So let me know if you're India, Asia, China, Japan, something like that. And I might have to scale that back because just too many are not getting through on the regular U.S. mail. So get with the software anyway, and all of the books are free on the basic members page. So go there, please. Access that, and a lot of the things we talked about, the confirmation strategies, relative strength, that's all in volume 2. So I recommend that you look at that specifically. Volume 2, volume 3, those are your best bets. But get that all for free on the basic members page. And those that have won books or will win books on Friday, again, I'll set you up with the software instead because I just can't send any more books that aren't going to get through. Black Friday special, Friday, 12 noon. We'll see you then. As always, go get them. Thanks for joining me today. Take care. Have a great one.